Balesh Sharma, the CEO at Vodafone Idea, with us on the rights issue. Mr. Sharma, thanks so much for joining us. Now, with this issue, would you expect to be fully funded for the foreseeable future? Would there be any need for fundraising if planned asset monetization doesn't work out?
Now, today, you're right, the rights issue opens today for 25,000 crores and it is open till 24th of April. Now, this gives us a sufficient funding cover for our clearly stated strategy. As we've talked before to ET Now, our strategy is very clear. We've got, with Vodafone Idea Limited, two very strong companies and two very strong networks coming together. Therefore, great infrastructure, two very strong brands. However, what we need to do very quickly, the biggest priority for us, is to integrate quickly so as to create more coverage and capacity, therefore better customer experience and more profitability. So very clearly on that direction we are driving. This funding helps us to fund ourselves sufficiently for that. With this funding and the other opportunities that we've talked about, which is the Indust Towers monetization, possibly our fiber monetization, and of course the cash generated from business and the cash that we started the company with, this gives us sufficient cover for a long haul to be able to fund our business adequately.
Right. News reports suggest that Indus Tower monetization is also likely in the next 3 to 4 months. Could we see more fund mobilization within this timeline?
Look, Indus Towers monetization is going to be when the merger of Bharti Infratel and Indus gets completed, which is likely, as you said, in the coming months. When that happens, we have an option of taking stocks in the new company or taking cash. And we are looking forward to taking the cash and investing that into our business. So it's well on track.
Okay. Balesh, give us a sense as to how much interest savings you're going to expect post this rights issue funds. The asset sale funds are used to repay debt?
So, of course, the rights issue helps us reducing the debt, whether it's the DoT debt that we are paying, as in the installments for spectrum and the interest thereon, or the external debt. However, our real focus right now is to get the investments in so as to be able to move on our strategy for better customer experience and profitability.
Now, in a recent interaction with us, you hinted that synergies are kicking in ahead of schedule. Could you give us a reworked savings that we can expect over the next, say, 2 years?
We had announced the merger. We had said that merger integration is going to take us 4 years, and therefore we stated a synergy target and said this will happen in FY23. However, when we were waiting for the merger approvals to come, that 1.5 years, 17 months period, we've spent in meticulously planning every part of our business, blueprinting everything like what will happen to retail, distribution, people, organization, networks, etc. in every geography. So all that blueprinting is done. While we finished that blueprinting, we realized that we can actually do it much quicker. We are now saying that we will do it in 2 years instead of 4 years, which means in FY21 we would already deliver the synergy targets, and very confident with the last 6 months of progress on being able to do so.
All right. Well, this may not still be enough for the company to return to profitability. What measures are you taking to do that?
So the funding in itself is obviously not going to change profitability. What's going to change profitability is utilizing the strengths that we have with the two companies coming together, putting it together to be able to very rapidly build better coverage and capacity for 4G. When that happens, you know that this company, Vodafone and Idea, with the two brands we have, already has 46% share of the 2G market. Yani the people who are not currently using data are sitting on 2G, and they are sitting therefore in one of my two networks. So if we have coverage and capacity and great customer experience, the chances are that those customers will continue to be with our brand as they go from non-usage of data to some usage of data to unlimited usage of data. Therefore, our brands have an opportunity of taking the customer up the journey on data usage and therefore uplifting the ARPU of each customer. Now, this happens as we roll out more and more coverage and capacity, and for that this funding is important. The next part of our strategy is to say that we will remain prioritizing we will prioritize on more profitable areas for us to build the future technologies like TDD and massive MIMO already underway. We are building, therefore, humongous amount of capacities in the areas where the existing usage and revenue and profitability is. Therefore, the customer experience in these areas, we will ensure that we are as good or better than anybody else in the industry. So our existing customers get a much better experience and therefore stay on with us, takes us up the revenue curve. Thirdly, we are trying to correct revenues through all other possible revenue growth areas like enterprise businesses, like partnership and adjacencies, etc. well underway. So with this funding, we will go on with this strategy and therefore be able to grow revenues on one side and take out costs on the other and therefore improve profitability.
And what about market share? You know, what about arresting that? You've lost 5% down to 32%. Any conscious choice to go for quality rather than quantity? Is it profitability over market share that you'll be going after?
There is a conscious choice for being the best in class on customer experience. Everything else follows. Now, when you look at where the market share loss has been, it's primarily because we did not have 4G coverage and 4G capacities even in the areas where you had coverage. That's what gets corrected by us now very quickly putting these two networks together. Everywhere where we put this network together, we get 4G because one of the two brands has 4G, so the new network will have 4G. Plus, in areas where we are investing on TDD and massive MIMO, etc., you get capacity. So every passing day, the customer experience across the country in every geography is going to improve.
All right. Thanks very much then for joining in and giving us that perspective.